morning students, welcome back to Mahila Samaja online classes. Today I will teach you class 7th science nutrition in animals continuous classes. Now we will talk about absorption in a small intestine. Okay, now we know that food is completely digested in our small intestine, right? Now we will talk about absorption of food. So the process by which a digested food is absorbed in the blood vessels from a small intestine is called as absorption. We will see how it happens. So the inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths called villi. Inner walls of the small intestine have finger-like outgrowths. These are called villi. The villi increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food, and the surface of the villi absorbs the digested food materials, and this process by which digested food is absorbed in the blood vessels from a small intestine is called absorption. After this, absorbed substances are transported via blood vessels to different organs of the body. Absorbed substances are transported to different organs of the body via blood vessels. This process is called assimilation. You understand absorption and assimilation. Okay, now we will move forward. Okay, so our complete after complete digestion of the food into the small intestine, any food that is left undigested passes through the small intestine and enters to the large intestine. This is our large intestine. So it is tube-like structures. It is wider and shorter, and the small intestine. It is only 1.5 meter long. What is the main function of large intestine? It absorbs the water and salts from the undigested food, and then rest of the waste undigested food then passes into the rectum, and the rectum will hold the undigested food until eliminated. Okay, after the food completely digested in a small intestine, it will passes into undigested food, will passes into large intestine. In a large intestine, water and salts will be absorbed from the undigested food, and the rest of the food passed into the rectum. This rectum it will hold undigested food until it is eliminated. Alright, let's move forward. Okay, now in the end of fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. The process by which the waste undigested food get out of the body through the anus is called as egestion. Yes, this anus and through this fecal matter or undigested food removed from the body. Okay, now we have understood the entire process of the first. We will take the food through our mouth. In our mouth, the digestion of starch starts. The digestion of carbohydrates starts in our mouth. Then the partially digested food will move through the esophagus to our stomach. The digestion of proteins starts in stomach. After stomach, the partially digested food will passes on to small intestine. In small intestine, complete digestion of food takes place. After the small intestine, the undigested food passes on to the large intestine. In large intestine, in water and salts are absorbed from the undigested food, and then the rectum holds the undigested food till elimination, finally through the anus. The undigested food will come out. This is the entire process of digestion. Okay, the main steps of nutrition in animals, nutrition in humans or ingestion, that is taking food. Then what happens? Digestion, then absorption in the small intestine, then assimilation, transport, transportation of absorbed substances to different parts of the body, and finally digestion, that is removal of undigested food from the body. So now we have completed digestion in human beings. Okay, now we will talk about grass eating animals and amoeba. Let's talking about the digestion in grass eating animals. So the grass eating animals eat grass, and the grass in rich in cellulose, a type of carbohydrate, and many animals including humans cannot digest cellulose. Yes, we can't digest cellulose. Okay, but grass eating animals can digest cellulose. We'll look how they do so. Even ever seen cows, buffalo, and other grass eating animals continuously chewing even when they are not eating? We will try to find out why they do so. Actually, when we eat grass, they quickly swallow the grass and store it in a part of the stomach is called ruminants. Why? Because the cellulose of the grass is digested in rumen by the action of a certain bacteria, and this bacteria is not present in human beings. That's why humans cannot digest cellulose. What I told you is when cow or any other grass eating animals will eat grass, it will quickly swallow the grass without chewing it. It will swallowing the grass, it will store the grass in a rumen in this compartment. Why? Because the cellulose present in the grass will be digested. Alright, after the cellulose, the digested, the partially digested food is called as cud, and this cud return to the mouth in small lumps, and animals chew this. That's why you find chewing the food continuously. So after this cellulose digested in remains, the cud, the partially digested food, is returned to the mouth again in small lumps. Now will the animals chews thoroughly, and then it will swallow it again. This how they digested food, it will swallow again. This chewed cud does not go back to return, but it will go back to other compartment for complete digestion. They will go back to other compartment for complete digestion. Finally, the undigested food will come back. So what we said is that firstly when they eat grass, firstly they eat grass, they will not chew it, just swallow it, and they will store in in the rumen, and then cellulose digested, and after cellulose digested food returns to the mouth in the form of small lumps, which is called as a cud. Then the animal will chew it. Then the chewed food again return back into different compartments, not remain now to the other compartment, and then complete digestion takes place, and the undigested food will come out. Right, so this process is called as a rumination, and these animals thoroughly chew the cud and swallow it again. Now we will talking about feeding and digestion in amoeba. What is amoeba? Amoeba is a microscopic single-celled organisms found in pond water. Amoeba has a cell membrane. This is the, this is the cell membrane of amoeba. A nucleus. This is the nucleus and many small vacuoles in it. The cytoplasm. These are vacuoles present in amoeba constantly changes its shape and position. There is no fixed shape of amoeba. It changes the shape and position. So there are finger-like projection present in amoeba body is called as a pseudopodium or a false feet. So this finger-like projection called as a pseudopodia or a false feet. So Pseudopodia is used for movement and for capture of food. So amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms. Now we will see how amoeba feeds. When amoeba senses food, it pushes out the pseudopodia around the food particle and engulfs it like the food gets trapped in the food vacuole. Can you see that the digestive juices act on the food and break it down into simpler substances? The gradually the digested food absorbed and absorbed substances are used to growth, maintenance, and multiplication. The undigested residue of the food is expelled outside by the vacuole. This is all about feeding and digestion among amoeba.